Hi, I'm Lieutenant Skazafava, one of the physical therapists here at Irwin Army Community Hospital. Today we're going to talk about some tips and tricks to manage core stability. In a previous video we talked about the problem of low back pain, especially with our soldiers, and I showed you some stretches to do to help with the mobility of your back. Today we're going to talk more about the core stability, which is really important because as we tighten our core and use our deep intrinsic core muscles, that allows better support for our low back and our lumbar spine. We're going to go over three exercises today, and I hope that you find that they're beneficial. So the first exercise I'm going to show you is pretty commonly done. It's called the plank. So I'm going to have Captain Santarelli here push up into a plank position on his forearms. A lot of times what I see here is when people are doing plank, they have a little bit of a curve in their low back, which isn't ideal because that puts a lot of pressure through here. So what I want you to think about is taking your belly button and driving it in towards your spine. And you can see that that causes him to engage his core muscles a little bit more. If you have low back pain when you're doing this exercise, I'm going to challenge you to even pike up just a little bit further because that's going to decrease the stress across here and you're still going to get that core activation that you need. The next exercise we're going to do is called the dying bug. To do this exercise, you're going to start in a reverse tabletop position. So your hands are going to be up in front of you and your knees are going to be up as well. A common fault that I see in this exercise is that people will arch their back during it, and that's the exact opposite of what we want to do. What Captain Santarelli here is going to do is going to take his belly button and draw it in towards his spine so that he's squishing his back flat into the table. To know if you're doing this correctly, you can take one of your hands and put it underneath your back just to get a little bit of feedback to see if you're actually driving your spine in towards the mat. From here, what you're going to do is take your opposite arm, opposite leg, and lower them down towards the table. And come on back up. So right now, Captain Santarelli is going to show you the incorrect way to do it by arching his back. So go ahead and do that, sir. Good. So right there, he arched his back up and his core was not engaged. Come on back up. So he's going to draw his belly button in towards his spine. Good contraction, and let's do it with the opposite side. Down and all the way up. If you find that your back is arching at the end range of this motion, I challenge you to only go halfway because that'll allow you to keep that core engaged the entire time. So the last exercise I'm going to show you is called the bird dog. To do this exercise, you're going to start in a nice tabletop position, hands and knees on the ground. If you have a wrist pain in this position, you can go up on your fist. Show that. Sure. Thank you. And come on back down flat. Big thing is the setup for this exercise. I want your spine to be in a nice neutral position. If he curls up or sags down, that's going to put the core in an inoptimal way to function, and we want to really work on the strength of those core muscles. So in order to do this, you are going to extend the opposite arm and the opposite leg, just like we did in the dying bug, engaging your core the whole time and taking your belly button, drawing it in towards your spine. So sir, go ahead and show me one of those. Beautiful. And come on back down. So he performed that very nicely. His hips didn't rotate at all and his shoulders didn't rotate. Let's show one poor bird dog. So rotate your hips with it. There you go. And come on back. The first couple times you do this exercise, you're going to find that it's a really big challenge on your balance in addition to your core stability. It's easy to do this exercise incorrectly. And I really want you to think about those core muscles the entire time you're doing it. Drawing that belly button in towards your spine and tucking your pelvis underneath you. So let's have you do a few of those, please. Good. You can go ahead and relax. So in regards to numbers of reps and sets for all these exercises, the first one I showed you was the plank. I want you to hold for at least 30 seconds. When you really feel those core muscles shaken, that means that you've done the exercise an appropriate amount of time. And then gradually build up to a minute and a half as you feel comfortable. If you feel an increase in back pain, obviously it's time to back off a little bit because your core muscles aren't working as well as they should. In regards to the dead bug exercise, I'm going to challenge you to start with 5 reps on each side. You're going to find that you can't hold your core in towards your spine flat against the table when you get fatigued. So that's kind of the indicator to yourself that it's time to stop that exercise, reset, take a break, and then go from there. In regards to this bird dog exercise, same thing. It's going to be a challenge on your core strength. It's going to be a challenge on your balance. So shoot for 10-ish reps on each side to start, and then progress from there gradually.